Welcome, one and all, to the K.O.E. Nation for a very special premium spirits review. I am the elated, excited, very, very, very eager King of Extreme, joined by my indomitable broadcast partner,
Tony G. Like, share, subscribe.
Yes, and you can find me, K.O.E. Nation, YouTube and Twitch. It's the place to be. So, Johnnie Walker Blue Label.
Yes.
How have we had a podcast that reviews whiskeys and it's taken us this long to get to Johnnie Walker Blue?
Well, we've done it once before, but it was amongst a lineup, and that's not entirely fair. So here it is for its solo review.
Johnnie Walker Blue Label, the iconic, known the world over Blue Label. Now, this one is a little bit special, actually. Now, also, I like to go with these smaller bottles.
You get a lot more value for your buck, that's for damn sure.
I was just going to say because it's cheaper. Now, this one is a little older. I got it in a 4-pack that also included the old Platinum 18-year. So the Platinum that really doesn't exist anymore. So this is a bit older Johnnie Walker blend, but I'm looking forward to trying it nonetheless. And it's been here long enough, and it's time. It's just really time.
I think the only time I've ever had Blue Label was when we did the full line review, starting from black all the way up to blue.
200 milliliter bottle. Let's see how it stacks.
Not bad.
Hey,
not bad for a little guy cork. Oh yeah, for $60, you get this 200 milliliter bottle plus what, 4 others?
3 others.
A black, a double black,
a bottle of black, a bottle of gold, and then depending on the year, either a bottle of platinum or 18.
Okay.
So this one happened to have the platinum, and I think it's a great deal, and I really wish more companies would do this. Because the little 50 milliliters, you can get a little sample, but you can't like have a good time with people. Like with one 200 milliliter 2 years ago at Christmas, my brothers and I, we all just kind of passed this around and just had a good Christmas day. And so, yeah, that's what a 200 milliliter, and also it's just A+ for whiskey podcasters. So thumbs up to Johnnie Walker to really look out for us whiskey podcasters. I'm sure that's what they were
making it more affordable for the little guy.
Yeah, I'm sure that's what they were thinking of when they made these. So now let's take a nose at the classic, the iconic, known the world over, Johnnie Walker Blue Label.
It's got a very luscious nose. It's a little sharper.
Cardew plus fruit.
Exactly. It's the Cardew, but a very, I don't want to say a tart fruit, but not a cherry.
For those who don't know, Cardew is the base blend of all Johnnie Walker. Yes. It's amazing stuff. You should really nice. You should really try it sometime. But
yeah, if you like Johnnie Walker, you're gonna love yourself some Cardew.
You're gonna.
This has got a really nice nose. It's very familiar if you're familiar with Johnnie Walker, but it does have a little extra.
Okay, this is gonna throw you off. To me, it's Speyside plus raspberry plus
raspberry
hint of smoke.
Yeah, I was honestly even more so than smoke, clay.
Mm-hmm. Like you can tell there was a peated Scotch put into this blend, but it's part of such and I get to use one of my favorite words I never get to use, an assemblage that's so complicated. Now, what's interesting is only 1 in 10,000 casks goes into Johnnie Walker Blue.
Oh.
So that gives you an idea of how rare they select their casks. Now, Johnnie Walker, they're a blending house. They blend from everywhere.
I'm going to have to correct you, though.
Oh.
You said this smelled like raspberry. So you couldn't be more wrong. This smell it again, like blue raspberry.
Oh, of course.
I'm sorry.
Of course. God. Fuck me. Right? Like, sheesh. I'm way off. I'm so sorry, folks.
I'm glad I was here to help.
What would we do without you, Tim?
But no, you're right. That is that. Raspberry's not necessarily tart, but it's a little sharper, and that's 100% the fruit that I was smelling. You're right.
It doesn't hurt that it's from Cardew base, which we love.
Love.
Well, T, I think it's time we
Oh, we actually have to drink it?
I know. Oh, shucky darns.
So smooth.
Mm-hmm.
A smoky at the end.
There is
with
some
some
smoke.
butter.
I was about to say more chocolatey to me.
Yeah, okay.
But I think we're in the same wheelhouse.
A creaminess. Like a. What is the dessert that I'm thinking of? The pastry with the icing in the middle and the chocolate on
Cannoli?
the top. Yeah, like a cannoli.
A cannoli.
A cannoli.
All of our Italian listeners, they're just like,
That was for you.
shout out to all my beautiful Italian listeners. But yes, Bella Italia. But yes. Now, Tony, you were asking earlier, we were having a conversation amongst ourselves. If you were going to have a video where we break down the 5 whiskey regions of Scotland, what would be the best blended Scotch to represent all of them?
That's probably this one, isn't
We're
it?
kind of looking at, because
Yeah.
it starts sweet, it smells sweet, it has sweet, and then it has that
Got
peat
the
on
smoke,
the back.
Yep.
Has that smoke, and not necessarily very
Yeah.
peaty, but definitely smoky.
Yeah. No,
so this would
peat's
be-
pretty light. It is just a smokiness to
If you were just going to put this bottle down and say, Scotland,
it. Yeah, that's
you would
fair.
at least you'd at least be giving the nation of Scotland its fair due. Now, Tony, how we get to the difficult part?
Yes.
Grading. We're going to grade this on a 5-star scale, folks. 5 stars meaning you have to have it before you shuffle off this mortal coil. Half star, 0 star means you can pass it by. So, we're going to grade on a couple scales. As a blended Scotch, as a Scotch, as a cask-aged spirit, and then it's shelving. And for those new to the show, the secret 5th question. So, Tony, as a blended Scotch,
There is just like no bite to this. This is a blend that managed to take out any of the harshness of any of the whiskeys that they use, and it just yanks it right out, which is great. For me, I have a palate that really appreciates something being very, very sippable without any harshness, but I also really like it to just punch me in the damn throat sometimes. So this is a perfect representation of a whiskey that you can just sip on and forget that you're actually sipping on whiskey. At 40% ABV, this is a great blend. In terms of the palate, I really like it. It does appeal to me very, very much, but for something that is upwards of $200 a bottle, you want a little bit more complexities when it comes to a blended. So I'm going to go 3.75 as a blended.
375
Yes.
is a blended.
Yes.
Boy, howdy. Are we about to disagree?
Oh yeah, I know we.
Because to me, I mean,
Again,
like this
I'm
is
a,
one of
I'm
the
a green
pinnacles.
homer. It's hard
This
to
is one of
top
the
green.
pinnacles of blending.
I know.
I think this is even better than green. It's just in terms of its money, in terms of its value, that's where you get into it because
It's definitely more popular by urban legend than
what? All right, I am going to go 425
I figured.
as a blended
I
Scotch,
figured.
and I'm sorry, it's amazing. It's a crowning achievement of blending. Now we move on to Scotch whiskey.
As a Scotch, I'm going to go 4.
4.
Because, as you said, this is a terrific blending of all the different flavors of Scotland. It's got it all, like you said. This just has a perfect representation of the region. So I think this is a great 4-star Scotch. The name alone, the stigma of the blue label, well, I would say affordability, but we both know the price tag on this one. But the
It
mellowness
seems to
of
be
this,
crawling up, like anywhere from
Yeah,
200,
and it creeps
260, like,
which
and
is
that's why I go
strange.
with these small bottles.
But this is so drinkable. You could introduce you'd spoil them. You'd spoil them. but you could introduce somebody to blended Scotch with this, and they wouldn't run for the hills because this is so smooth.
Yes. So you give it 4 stars as a Scotch. Now, for me as a Scotch, it's a great introductory one if you want to show somebody a high-end Scotch early on.
Yeah.
It also is, as it stands right now, the quintessential gift Scotch. Absolutely. If you want to give a gift of a bottle of Scotch to somebody that you know is a really big Scotch enthusiast, and you don't know anything about Scotch, you get them a bottle of Johnnie Walker Blue Label, like, what the hell? Thank you very much. So that's why, as a Scotch, I'm going to give it 4.5. I think it's one of the finer Scotches.
Okay.
Especially for blend. You got to go to some really high-end sherry aging in your casking for single malts to even top this. So, yeah, I'm giving it 4.5 as a Scotch.
Okay.
What's your score?
4.
4? All right. Now we move on to cask-aged spirit, and this is going to be where I get a little less generous.
Yeah.
Because there is no age statement on this bottle.
Yeah, I was
It is
just
a
gonna
blend
say,
of everything from all over the nation of Scotland.
do we have any general idea what the age would be? I mean, because this could be anywhere from what's the minimum?
I think to call it a Scotch whiskey, I think it's got to be aged at least 2 years.
Okay.
And like, to be honest,
I
Tony,
doubt they put any 2-year-old whiskey in that.
Well, there's anything from like 4-year-old whiskey to 25-year-old whiskey that's in there. So there's really and
it's hard to say what
it changes from year to year in order to keep a consistent flavor profile from year to year.
It's an interesting process the way they blend these, and that does definitely give it points. But yeah, in terms of cask aging, I would like to see, for me, for cask age, I want to see a little bit more robust flavors on the front, not just the back. Because this is very sippable and drinkable right there on the front. It's so smooth. The back is where you start getting the depth. There's not a lot on the front, and I think that's where it hurts it for cask age. I'm going to go 3.5.
I'm going to disagree with you, but only just, and I'm going to give it 3.25.
I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah. I didn't know where you were going to go, but I was going 3.25. It's like, I could just imagine if they ever came out with a Johnnie Walker Blue Label with an age statement on it.
Yeah.
Now imagine what kind of crazy premiums that would command.
450 easy. Because I'm guessing they're going 18 if they do something like that.
Oh, he's still my beating.
Yeah, I know.
So there we go. That's our grade as cask aged. We don't pull any punches here, folks. Now we move on to, do we even really need to ask shelving?
No, this is a top shelf. You can't, if you want to ever be taken seriously by somebody that doesn't even know shit about whiskey and you show them, hey, here's my shelving. Why do you have Johnnie Walker Blue on the middle shelf? I don't know shit, and I know that is a top shelf whiskey, and that is a top shelf whiskey.
Same here, top shelf, no dispute, no denial. No. Now, the real tough question, Tony. Let's assume the ungenerous price, $260 plus tax USD.
No.
You're not. Would you seek out this bottle for $260 USD?
No, absolutely not. Especially considering there's a bottle of XR21 I see for half that. Green Label is half of that. That's $60 to $80, which I love Green Label. So there are options out there that are much more affordable and in some cases more impressive in terms of age statement alone. So no, the stigma attached to over $200 price tag is a little much for me. Now, a bottle of that, just this bottle for $60, that I would be tempted.
Yeah, $60 for the little.
Obviously you get a little more. Yeah, for a 4-pack with that in it for $60, absolutely.
Yeah, and so as you can see, even in the last video we did, that was the same type of bottle. It wasn't the same bottle, but yeah, I got it from another 4-pack. So that's how I generally get my Johnnie Walker Blue, is through those smaller packs because, well, it's cheaper. So to me, a $260 bottle, probably not, because like you said, there's a lot of other offerings in the Johnnie Walker line I would grab first.
Yeah.
And so Johnnie Walker Blue, an amazing whiskey if you can get your hand on it, but it's usually like an I really like you gift, is what I've known. And that's how most people's Johnnie Walker Blue comes to them. And that's how it's almost like Christmas fruitcake.
Yeah.
And it's like nobody actually buys it. It just kind of keeps going to
Fruitcake's a good way to describe some of the profile on the back end of the palate there, actually. Yeah. Come to think of it, maybe that's why it makes such a great Christmas gift.
Hey
Fruitcake in a bottle.
You know, you got a point there, T.
I know it.
Well, anything you'd like to say to the people?
No, this is really nice stuff. It's just, it's kind of like the bourbon of the blended Scotch world. That we don't know why the price has skyrocketed,
but it has. Well, folks, as I'm known to say around here, all that being said, thank you for joining us for this very special deep dive omnibus review into Johnnie Walker Blue. Folks, I am your King of Extreme, the Lord of the Scottish Highlands, the Prince and Potentate of the political parlance, and one damn handsome man, the man of the hour, the man with the power, the man that makes the other podcast cower, Phil K.O.E., signing off and handing it off to my indomitable broadcast partner, the one, the only,
Tony G. Like, share, subscribe. Thanks for joining.
Smooths itself out.
Get back. Tell you what I'll do. If I ever get back, I promise to refabricate you, raging rivers of gold. That's what the brochure advertised. And now we're lost, we gotta take it down. Let you down slow, it's hard to survive.
Nice.
El Dorado. Oh, Lord. Well, let's see how that one went.
Yeah.